Macedo, we are coming on the air because President Trump is expected to make his first comments from the White House about the attack on Iran, the death of the supreme leader, and the loss of 4 American service members. The president's making these comments at a Medal of Honor ceremony, but many are listening to what he will say about this operation in Iran. ABC's chief global affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz is monitoring that closely, with especially more on the intelligence behind that attack. Martha, what are you learning so far?
Well, we did have Defense Secretary of War Pete Hegseth talk about the operation this morning. He had several strong comments. He said, we didn't start this war, but under President Trump, we are finishing it. He said Iran's stubborn and self-evident nuclear pursuits and their targeting of global shipping lanes are one of the reasons they wanted to go after Iran. But we have had really very, very few comments. We haven't really from the president. He's done some individual phone interviews with people, but he has not had a press conference about why he started this, what he is going to do. And the most relevant question, how does this end? What is the goal? We've seen these attacks all across the Gulf states to civilian targets, to bases. We have 4 service members who have already been killed and several others already injured. The president did say when this started on a Truth Social post that that's what happens in war. Diane.
And the defense secretary confirmed this morning the death of 4 U.S. service members in a retaliatory attack by Iran. I want to bring in our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, on that because, Mary, the president has received some support from U.S. lawmakers, also some criticism, even from within his own party. Looks like the president's about to speak. Let's listen.
Wonderful job. Appreciate it. And thank everybody for being here, and please feel free to sit. So before we begin this important ceremony, and there's no ceremony that can be much more important than this, let me provide a brief update on Operation Epic Fury. Today, the United States military continues to carry out large-scale combat operations in Iran to eliminate the grave threats posed to America by this terrible terrorist regime. Following our obliteration of Iran's nuclear program in Operation Midnight Hammer a short while ago, we warned Iran not to make any attempt to rebuild at a different location because they were unable to use the ones that we so powerfully blew up. But they ignored those warnings and refused to cease their pursuit of nuclear weapons. In addition, the regime's conventional ballistic missile program was growing rapidly and dramatically, and this posed a very clear, colossal threat to America and our forces stationed overseas. The regime already had missiles capable of hitting Europe and our bases, both local and overseas, and would soon have had missiles capable of reaching our beautiful America. The purpose of this fast-growing missile program was to shield their nuclear weapon development and make it extraordinarily difficult for anyone to stop them from making these highly forbidden by us nuclear weapons. We were the ones that were complaining. We were the ones that wanted it stopped. But everybody was behind us. They just didn't have the courage to say so. An Iranian regime armed with long-range missiles and nuclear weapons would be an intolerable threat to the Middle East, but also to the American people. Our country itself would be under threat, and it was very nearly under threat. I was very proud to have knocked out the Iran nuclear deal by President Barack Hussein Obama. That was a horrible, horrible, dangerous document. They would have had nuclear weapons 3 years ago, and they would have used them. But I'll not let that happen. For almost 47 years, this regime has been attacking the United States and killing Americans. Every time you see someone with missing arms and legs or a face that's been absolutely shattered violently, it was almost certainly caused by an Iran roadside bomb. They were put there by General Soleimani, who was the father of the roadside bomb. Very proudly, he thought, but I terminated him in my first term. this was our last best chance to strike what we're doing right now and eliminate the intolerable threats posed by this sick and sinister regime. And they are indeed sick and sinister. Our objectives are clear. First, we're destroying Iran's missile capabilities, and you see that happening on an hourly basis, and their capacity to produce brand new ones, and pretty good ones they make. Second, we're annihilating their Navy. We've knocked out already 10 ships. They're at the bottom of the sea. Third, we're ensuring that the world's #1 sponsor of terror can never obtain a nuclear weapon, never going to have a nuclear weapon. I said that from the beginning. They're never going to have a nuclear weapon. They were on the road to getting one through a deal that was signed foolishly by our country. And finally, we're ensuring that the Iranian regime cannot continue to arm, fund, and direct terrorist armies outside of their borders. And we thought we had a deal, but then they backed out. And they came back, and we thought we had a deal, and they backed out. I said, you can't deal with these people. You got to do it the right way. Today, we grieve for the 4 heroic American service members who have been killed in action and send our love and support to their families. In their memory, we continue this mission with ferocious, unyielding resolve to crush the threat this terrorist regime poses to the American people, and a threat indeed it is. We have the strongest and most powerful, by far, military in the world, and we will easily prevail. We're already substantially ahead of our time projections, but whatever the time is, it's okay. Whatever it takes, we will always, and we have right from the beginning, we projected 4 to 5 weeks, but we have capability to go far longer than that. We'll do it. Whatever somebody said today, they said, oh, well, if the president wants to do it really quickly, after that he'll get bored. I don't get bored. There's nothing boring about this. Do you agree with that, Pete? I don't think there's anything, Mr. General, I think there's nothing boring about it. Somebody actually said from the media, I think he'll get bored after about a week or two. No, we don't get bored. I never get bored. If I got bored, I wouldn't be standing here right now, I guarantee you that, to go through what I had to go through. We also projected 4 weeks to terminate the military leadership, and as you know, that was done in about an hour, so we're ahead of schedule there by a lot. But please join me in thanking every American service member who bravely is standing in harm's way. They really are incredible, and I just want to thank you. We have a lot of them right here. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. We have a lot of great service members here with us, too, in this beautiful building. Isn't it beautiful? We're adding on to the building a little bit. We're improving the building. See that nice drape? When that comes down, right now you see a very, very deep hole. But in about a year and a half from now, you're going to see a very, very beautiful building. And there's your entrance to it right there. In fact, it looks so nice, I think I'll save money on the doors, because it can't get more beautiful than that. I picked those drapes in my first term. I always like gold, but I think we can save a lot of money. I just saved curtains. But, and it'll be spectacular. It'll be the most beautiful ballroom. I believe it because I built many a ballroom. I believe it's going to be the most beautiful ballroom anywhere in the world. And when you hear all that hammering out there, you know why the First Lady is not thrilled exactly. She said, will the pile drivers ever stop? You know, they go from 6 in the morning till 11:30 in the evening. Can you imagine? Here? You know what? To me, that's a beautiful sound. She doesn't like it. I love it. You know what? To me, other than here, because we're donating it, not a penny to the taxpayer. It'll be under budget, ahead of schedule. It'll be $400 million or less. Most people say $400 million or more. No, it'll be less. But when I hear that sound, that beautiful sound behind me, it means money, so I like it. But my wife isn't thrilled. She said, this is getting crazy. I said, don't worry about it. We'll be all finished up in a few months. but now for the reason that we're gathered this morning to recognize the unsurpassed courage of 3 really incredible American heroes, 1 living and 2 no longer.
We are listening to President Trump there speaking for the first time from the White House about the attack on Iran, the killing of the Ayatollah, and the death of 4 U.S. service members. I want to bring in ABC News Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce for a little more on what we just heard for the president. Mary, the president said that this was necessary to, in his words, eliminate the grave threat posed to America by this terroristic regime, talking about the regime in Iran. And then he went on to say that the U.S. was very nearly under threat. Will that be enough to satisfy his critics in Congress who say this was not urgent, he did not need to do this without a congressional approval?
Well, Diane, the president certainly is for the first time really fleshing out a bit more what that imminent threat was that he has argued led him to change his mind and go ahead and strike Iran now, because, of course, this morning and in the days leading up to this, we have heard from the president and other top officials this argument that, you know, Iran had for decades been very hostile to the rest of the world, and now the president is explaining that imminent threat, arguing that Iran had missiles capable of reaching the U.S. and saying that the U.S. was very nearly under threat. But the U.S.'s own intelligence had concluded that it would take 9 years for Iran to have a missile capable of reaching the U.S. And sources have confirmed to ABC News this morning that administration officials briefed congressional staff over the weekend, saying that U.S. intelligence did not suggest Iran was preparing to launch a preemptive strike against the U.S. So there are still some very big questions here about what evidence the president had of this imminent threat. And going forward on how long this campaign is going to last, you heard the president there saying whatever it takes. Of course, this is the president who promised not to drag the U.S. into prolonged foreign conflict, Diane.
And I want to bring in our chief foreign correspondent, Ian Pannell, on that point. Ian, the president said we grieve for the 4 U.S. service members already killed in this operation, saying this could last 4 to 5 weeks or maybe longer. What are you looking ahead to now?
Yeah, I mean, I think we just need to step back and recognize that there's already been regional escalation. Remember, Iran always had a plan. Again, the Iranians have said, look, we're ready to fight a long war, are the Americans. They had a plan to escalate throughout the region. They've attacked almost every single country throughout the Gulf and the Middle East. We now have a second front opening up in Lebanon as Hezbollah, probably the main group that Iran sponsors, this militant group described as a terrorist organization, has also got engaged in the conflict. So there are real difficulties on the ground. There are more people being drawn in. Oil prices have spiked, natural gas prices have spiked, and this will start to hit people. In their pockets. But here in the region, I think there's a real sense of concern about how rapidly this is escalating, where it ends, and no clear sense of mission objectives, how you measure success and how you get out of it and bring about peace.
And Martha, the president said that this happened because we continuously thought we had a deal with Iran in these nuclear talks, and then they continuously backed down. What happens with that diplomacy now?
The president has said he's open to talking to Iran again, but Iran basically has said we don't want to talk at this point. They've apparently destroyed half of the missile launchers, but Iran still has thousands and thousands of missiles that they can launch throughout the Middle East, throughout those Gulf states, throughout civilian hotels or wherever they want to hit. And as Ian said, we don't really know where this ends. The president really didn't answer any of those questions in those remarks. Dan Kane, who's the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, says it will take some time to achieve, and in some cases will be difficult, gritty work, and they expect to take additional losses. Diane.
All right, our Chief Global Affairs correspondent, Martha Raddatz, thank you. And right now, we're going to return to your regular programming. Our coverage continues on ABC News Live and abcnews.com, and David Muir will have the latest on World News Tonight. I'm Diane Macedo. Have a great rest of the day.
This has been a special report from ABC News.